All right, here we go. Okay. Is it a hump or a drop? What do you say? You got to twist your words in every which way, because the motto will always dictate what you do. Everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues. Is it a straight line or does it curve? Some people unclamp it, but that is absurd. We all know that the model will always dictate what you do. Everybody knows that you are model afflicted blue. Model affliction. It's your addiction. That model affliction. It brings you so much pain. It's your ball and chain. Conflating curvature with elevation change has got your local distance just out of range. That old biggie is gonna dictate everything that you do. And everybody knows that you got the model affliction blues. It's your decision defending the model position. You just don't know the geometric propositions. That old ball, it'll always be illogical to you. That's why perpendicularity is a puzzle to you. Model affliction. It's your addiction. Model affliction. It brings you so much pain. It's your ball and chain.
World famous Buster. And we are live. Welcome everybody. It is Monday, Model Affliction Monday, and got some different model affliction than you would normally imagine. This one's it seems to be I don't know. Flat earthers have become obsessed, as obsessed as the blue marble scientists, about us just talking about stating simple facts. They've got upset, but as they usually do, they make a mistake about their first getting upset and make a big deal out of that, and then realise they can't really back that up, so they have to go and think of something else to get upset about, to swap the subject. It's a very familiar tack or reasoning or how, tactics that have been used. But well, I'd say it's strange, but I mean, it's not. This time it's Nathan Oakley, and to me, they've never been any different. Everybody within what we talk as this arena that we're definitely not in. They're obsessed with us, but I'd say society men, a lot of them. We've got this. There's this group of people that have FE in front of their names, and they're all obsessed with us. There's Flat Earth Math. Obviously, the mathematician that came round here that says he teaches children some really weird shit. I can't imagine why you do that. Then you've got Flat Earth. What's the other one called? Dogma. The guy that teaches everybody all of the flat earth dogma that they have to imagine that flat earthers do, misrepresenting us, talking about some weird stuff, about measuring angles or whatever. He's making videos about us. We've got Nathan Oakley, the Flat Earth Debate. That's a big society group as far as I'm concerned. Flat Earth Pilot. Have you ever heard of Flat Earth Pilot? He's another one sending me stupid messages and stuff on Twitter. There's a lot of these guys that go with the Flat Earth tag that seem to be coming after us for some reason, for misrepresenting us. That's what they want to do. That's the narrative that's going on at the minute. But not only me. It seems to be growing to Nathan's mind, this idea that the Flat Earth Society narrative that's coming at us from people like Flat Earth Math, Flat Earth Data, where's another one? Flat Earth Dogma, Flat Earth Pilot, and the Flat Earth Debate, guys. It was Flat Earth Math that said he gave Nathan that name. So it makes sense that there is a society connection going on here.
Bev?
Yeah?
I feel like sharing my screen for
Your screen, this one.
just a minute.
Okay.
And then you can turn it off again.
Oh, I've got the sound coming through. You've got a load of shit cows.
I have. Yeah, I wanted to show them off. Do you like them?
Yeah. Is that for the fertilizer farm?
Yeah, you basically you force feed them a load of berries and they shit a lot. And it just reminded me so much of Nathan.
You named them properly.
I mean, yeah, what an awesome role model they have.
You cracked me up. I was like, where's she going with this? That was good. That was freaking good, Emma.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to have to stop watching that because it's... I can just hear them shitting all the time. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear Nathan Oakley shitting all over the place. We're going to do a special one for Nathan. Do a video for him.
I did see this. It was, I think, 1806 number when in after show he was talking about Rob, and he was like talking also about me and what he just streamed, what I said about something. So I watched that.
Yeah.
So, and when I paused, he said that it was cognitive dissonance. So,
What you were saying?
yes,
Yes.
that I realized my cognitive dissonance. It is an old trick from him because many times when someone is pausing, he immediately fills the gap and comment on that gap. And I just paused because I was thinking what to say more, and I thought that that was enough. That's why I paused, because many people pause when they think what to say next.
Yeah. It's better that you pause before you talk, isn't it?
Yes, it is normal. I would say, at least for me, that if I made my statement and I'm thinking what to say next, I take to think. It's normal way. I think for Nathan Oakley, it is cognitive dissonance, because I said that it was about this glass and table. And he said that if as I said, on microscopic scale, you can see that the table is not perfectly flat. But he didn't catch my point there, that if you are looking out of the window, you can see mountains and valleys without microscopic scale. So if you are looking at the table without changing scale, you can see that the table is flat. But if you are looking out of the window, for example, you are not looking through microscope also. So you can see that the Earth is not flat at this in the same scale. So his comment on that was completely, I would say, for me, nonsensical. Because to see that the table is not flat, you have to dramatically change the scale. But if you don't change the scale, you can see flatness, let's say, of the table and not flatness of the Earth. That was my point. So still, it doesn't prove that the Earth is flat, this changing scale.
I'm going to go over that Nathan Oakley one, right? But there's one video that I think just needs to be gone over. This is a video that I did not last year, Thanksgiving, but the year before. And it got changed because this one video is the video that went out on Dave Weiss on his Flat Earth Clock and Moon app. I think that's what it's called. So, right. Can you guys in Discord see that? We have a statement of fact we hold to be true right now. We did this over, let's say, a year and a half ago. It's been in the planning, right? So let's see what Nathan Oakley thinks of this.
Hello, Bev. Can you hear me okay?
Welcome, Bob. Yeah.
I'm glad to be here.
So, Bob, since you're here, I don't know if you heard about our little laser waving thing. I know you want to get into it with Mobius, but I just want to ask you one question, if I may.
Oh, please.
We're asking people for their prediction. So we got a 11-mile laser waving thing.
Right. This is a little intro about the laser waving. But if you look at where we are talking about the laser waving from and to, it's around about the place that the picture that Ruhif gave Ranty for that complete shill operation that they did about the mountains, towns disappearing. This is from A to B across that little bit, and we're asking. We're calling him Bob, but he's now called Research Flat Moon Bob when he came over here.
Going on. At what height do you think the laser should be visible at 11 miles?
I've got no idea. I'd have to do the math. What height's it starting at?
No, what do you mean?
What height are you firing the laser from?
0.
So right on the ground?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of tough. There's so much refraction near the ground. Why don't you do it from about 15 feet up or 20 feet up?
Because we're doing it from ground. We're doing laser waving.
Okay, well, have fun with it.
At the seaside.
Have fun with it.
We're doing Logic Night tonight as well, Bob. And we're specialising on the Black Swan. So if I were to say no glober has any geometric evidence of the globe, would you have a Black Swan for me?
I mean a Black Swan for you.
In the sense of the Black Swan, the one that would disprove the statement there are no globers with any geometric evidence of their...
I've got plenty of geometric evidence of the globe, but, I'm not... that's not a Black Swan. That's just reality. It's normal.
Do you have
By
any?
Black Swan, you're talking about trying to come up with an exception of some sort? Or a deal killer?
Yeah. I'm saying the geometric evidence, I say nobody's got any. Because you call it earth curve, right? I'd call it curvature of level. And whereas I say level is a straight line on a horizontal plane, you would disagree. I'd say you've got no geometric evidence for that. And geometric meaning in reality.
What would you accept? What would you accept as geometric evidence for that? I mean, a specific thing, a specific type of an experiment that you and I could both do would demonstrate curvature to your satisfaction.
Some sort of geometric evidence to back up evidence in reality.
What sort?
Do you not know what geometric evidence is?
I don't know what you consider geometric evidence is, but go ahead and tell me what you would consider geometric evidence.
I would consider that vertical and horizontal being perpendicular as a geometric evidence.
All verticals and horizontal are always perpendicular by definition. It's definitional.
I know.
So if you...
So there you go. There's one concession. Vertical and horizontal are perpendicular. Well done, Bob. Thank you very much.
You have a vertical. If you draw a perpendicular line to that, that would be a horizontal. And that's just simply a definition.
And if you could travel along the horizontal and drop another perpendicular to it, that would prove, as is already geometric proof, that all perpendiculars to a plane are parallel.
All perpendiculars to a plane are parallel, by definition.
Concession number 2, all perpendiculars to a plane are parallel. That's good, isn't it? Thank you very much, Nathan.
So far, so good.
Yeah. This is how you talk to people. Yep.
What's that have to do with the Earth?
Well, horizontal and vertical are perpendicular.
Yes, by definition. You're not telling me anything new here.
And a horizontal plane, if it can be shown that a horizontal plane does exist, then...
How would you define that horizontal plane? As being perpendicular to a particular vertical?
Yeah, water level.
No, water level is not parallel, is not plane.
It does. It's a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference.
No.
That's what level is.
Level is an equal elevation above theta of some sort. So for example, if things were 5 feet above sea level, they'll be 5 feet above sea level everywhere, and every point that's 5 feet above sea level will be level to every other point that's 5 feet above sea level.
Yeah.
That's not a plane.
Level's a horizontal plane, isn't it?
No.
Level is a straight line on a horizontal plane, like I said for ages.
It's an equal distance above a datum. And if the datum is curved, the level will be curved. If the datum is flat, the level will be flat. It will be a plane. But first, you have to show that the datum is a plane.
Yep. You use geometric proofs for that too, as well.
Like what?
What? Like being able to prove that no two straight lines can share a common segment.
Two straight lines can share a common segment. What does that even mean?
Geometric proof, isn't it?
Well, no, you tell me what you mean by no two lines can share a common segment.
What do I mean by it?
Yes.
It's a statement.
Okay, what's the statement mean? What are you implying with that?
That you can't have two straight lines that share a common segment. Surely it's self-explanatory, Bob.
Okay, so I can't draw a line from A to B and have it share a segment with a line from B to A?
It's the road up is the road down.
Correct. So those would be two segments, wouldn't it? One would be defined as A to B, and the other would be defined as B to A. Correct.
It's the same line.
Okay, so what's your point?
Oh, I don't know what your point is.
I'm just trying to figure out what you're trying to make a claim of here.
It's just a statement. It's not a claim. It's a statement.
Okay.
It's a proof.
All right.
A geometric proof.
Well, if it's geometric proof, what are you proving?
A shared straight line segment, then you're showing that it's the same straight line. Or parallel planes.
The gift of low gas that was given to me, and I know how water flows, and I know what level shows. You'll be wasting your time, mine, trying to change what's been defined. I know what I know.
Nice bit of Buster at the end. Get in. So, did you like that? A little bit just to, let people know that what we do here is just basically talk to people. This next one's going to be a bit. Right. So did you like that? I mean, look at all of the stuff I got said in that. Vertical, horizontal, perpendicular. All perpendiculars to a plane will be parallel. Agreed. Concession. Definitional. And that you can establish a horizontal plane. Well, I mean, I don't know whether he agreed to that one or not.
He said that you cannot do that by means of water level.
Even though that's the way that it's defined. So he's just not that, but obviously that. He's got no other anything else. But if anybody wants to have a conversation about it, we're up for it. Dead easy to talk about. Geometric implications of water level and this fact about a shared straight line segment. And we've been going on about it for ages. It's really strange that nobody wants to come and talk about the really good stuff, the proper proofs. How you can fit this geometric reasoning to these tools that are said to do that. I mean, the only thing you can do is to say that these tools don't actually do that. There must be a big conspiracy. There might be a big conspiracy that these guys are getting it out. I mean, everybody knows pi to be a constant, but some people say it has to change. Could be a conspiracy that you know it as a constant. Right. Next one. Right now, I might be stopping this a few times. This is an 8-minute video from a guy called Nathan Oakley. And it's called Denying Flat Earth, question mark, exclamation mark. Yes, it's dead easy. It goes like this. The Earth's not flat. That's how easy this is. But, I mean, Nathan Oakley's going to make a video about it. He might be talking about us. There we go.
I should really announce what the video is called. This is called Bridge Tour Super Yacht Transport Ship.
We can see some old voyage preparation.
So if you were to put a great circle on the chart, it will appear as a curve, not a straight line.
So on this Mercator projection, this will be like this, like you see
on the screen.
Because on the Agni screen is also Mercator projection.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying on the Mercator projection, what we show you is a curved line.
Absolutely.
But on the real Earth, it is like this, like the straight line.
Yes.
Okay, so in reality, straight. On the map, curved. Right? Well, what are the lines on the map? Oh, well, they're circles. The straight lines on the map are circles. Yeah. Circles of equal elevation from Polaris. All right, I see. So we've got curved lines as a grid system that are straight, and therefore a straight line appears curved. That makes sense. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But ultimately, what's happening in reality? We're traveling straight. Why the hell would you travel this big-ass boat in a curved path when it will take longer?
What the ballers claim is that that curved line is a straight line. That's their claim. Because you don't deviate. They literally call a curved line a straight line. I will shout out Bev for this because Bev had him saying this. This is where he got the curvizontal from. Because that's where that came from. Was they were claiming that a curved line that you're not deviating from on your path. If you were taking a curved path, then that's a straight line. That's what the ballers, that's how they like to think about it. Bendizontal. Bendizontal, that's it. Bendizontal, yeah. So, yeah, Bev did have him talking about bendizontal.
Wait, hold on. A curve, if you're following a curved line and you don't deviate from that curved line, you can consider that line straight?
Yep.
Wow, that sounds confusing. Some people have got a confusion about what straight is. Who'd have thunk it? It's almost as though that's not what we've been doing. All this time, people have been saying, what the fuck are you doing, Bev? You never changed. Well, this is what we're doing. We find the fundamentals of straight lines. The logical understanding of it.
And you had two people starting at the same point. One traveled that curved path, the other traveled the straight path. Would they travel the same path?
It's only conceptual in your mind.
That's what I mean.
The guy said it. So it's a straight line. Like the guy said. Saying that it's anything other than that is just adding to the confusion in people's minds. That's all it ever has been. So this is just people adding to confusion. A straight line is straight. We drop bendizontal because it's ridiculous. Even to give people the conception that it is helps these guys with their understanding of not understanding. They're not that. These are blue marble scientists that we're dealing with. You should be very careful with the not that and your talk about it. It causes like an ongoing trigger that just starts building up as soon as this even gets talked about. Now, you may think here that what's going to happen within this next little bit is a triggered tirade because of me. Somebody's injected me, but it's not. It's the injection of the straight line and the curve and the mental processing that goes on when people have to have a struggle with their comprehension or their understanding of what a straight line is. It's pretty. Listen,
Yeah.
Oh,
here we go.
oh, okay. What the hell? These people are getting crazier and crazier.
I've also got to actually thank Bev for his little interaction.
Yeah, sorry about that, Nathan. That was really good. I understand what you did. You had the guy right on there showing you that he has been gaslit.
What? Horizontal, right?
Yeah.
This is me talking to a surveyor with my lad. Quite a few years ago, this. Nathan Oakley's got hold of it. So listen to what I'm saying, and then listen to what Nathan Oakley says.
All right.
Yeah.
It's nothing else.
See, I call it vertical because it's up and down.
Well, it's perpendicular, isn't it?
Yeah.
Horizontal and vertical. Level is not curved at all, is it?
No, it's flat. No, it's flat.
Can't have a curve in it.
Can't be curved, no, it's flat.
Right, so we're talking about level to a surveyor. He said he calls it vertical because it's up and down. That's the measurement that he makes on the vertical because it's a vertical datum. So that's what he says. And I say it can't curve, can it? And he says, no, it's flat. Obviously, talking about level, Nathan, not the fucking earth. I wasn't talking to him about the earth. So, right, the guy's talking and I'm talking to him about level. I even talk about the canals.
It's flat.
Brilliant. Cheers, mate.
All right. No, it's flat. Can't be curved, no, it's flat.
Brilliant. Cheers, mate.
Various different surveyors talking about surveying Earth as flat.
No! Fucking obsessed with it. They don't talk about surveying the earth as flat. That guy was talking to me about level. Not the earth, Nathan. It's what these people, right? You have to be aware. There's a group of people that are absolutely obsessed with the earth. And they have to put it everywhere, in every conversation that anybody ever has. I had to put in a comment to Nathan about this, right? Talking to a fucking surveyor about level. Don't misrepresent him. He didn't say the earth was flat. No surveyor would, because they measure elevations. He said it's on the fucking vertical. Now, listen to what Nathan's going to do from this now.
But that was Bev talking to a surveyor who says, yeah, it's flat.
It's flat.
Now, you notice Bev didn't flat shame him when he described horizontal, level, flat as flat.
No, why would I? He said it was vertical. Fucking hell.
That's what it is. He just said, thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Of course, if he's trying to manipulate you, that's Bev, that
What
is.
does Nathan want? Someone to give this guy, this poor guy just doing his job on the street, complete stranger comes up, asks him some questions, they have a little conversation. He then wants what? To stand there and shame him for saying a word.
Yeah, I said at the beginning of it, I'm doing a little project with my lad. I had my son with me. And we were going over the understanding of what level is.
So now Nathan Oakley, the person who asks for money all the time, is taking things that you've done to help your son.
Yeah.
To make money.
Yeah, he's putting it out on YouTube and then misrepresenting what the fucking guy said. The whole conversation, what it was about. It was about the canal. It's about the realizing Euclid. All of this sort of stuff that we've been doing. Then Nathan's obviously misrepresenting us, much like the blue marble scientist. This is ridiculous. But worse than that, he thinks that guy just said that the earth was flat. It's delusional. Delusional. He thinks it's flat shaming as well, to point out to people that elevation changes negate flatness. I'll go over a couple of these things as well in a bit.
It'll flat shame you if you suggest it's flat. Not to a surveyor, a professional guy actually doing the job. When he says it's flat, thanks very much, mate. No.
He said level. Fucking hell, Nathan. He didn't say the Earth's flat. He's not that fucking daft. He's a surveyor. He said it's on the fucking vertical. Holy shit.
Flat shaming involved, right? That's because it's flat. Unless you're being gaslit that level and horizontal aren't flat, you know, then you'll be flat shamed by some psychopath.
He's saying level is horizontal, right? Now, please, listen to what Nathan's saying. He just said level and horizontal, because that's exactly what I was talking about. Not the fucking Earth. Level isn't the Earth. Horizontal isn't the Earth, Nathan Oakley. Please get your fucking terms correct. In your own head. Fucking annoys the shit out of me, this sort of stuff.
Path. But there we go. Just thought I'd drop that in there as we were talking about it.
Yeah, he steps out of the realms of reality because he actually starts talking about how level and horizontal, when he's talking about them, he's not referring to the Earth, which is what QE...
I've never been talking about the Earth. Level and horizontal have got nothing to do with the Earth. I can't remember how many times I've fucking said that. It's an even altitude. It's away from the Earth. Of its own. You know who else says it's got something to do with that? Like their society guys, like Rumpus.
We picked them up on was that how can you not be referring to the Earth if you're talking about horizontal, is you don't have a reference point unless you're referring to the horizon. So Bev contradicts himself because he'll then in the next breath say all horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon. So he's...
Right. It has to be gone over, right? Brian's saying I'm contradicting myself.
I didn't catch that.
You guys to go over the bit that in the next breath I'm contradicting myself. See if you can see where I make a contradiction. I'd like to know what it is. Right.
That in there as we were talking about it.
Yeah, he steps out of the realms of reality because he actually starts talking about how level and horizontal, when he's talking about them, he's not referring to the Earth, which is what QE picked him up on, was that how can you not be referring to the Earth if you're talking about horizontal, is you don't have a reference point unless you're referring to the horizon. So Bev contradicts himself because he'll then in the next breath say all horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon. So
do you get it? Where's the contradiction?
Well, he's still referring to the horizon as Earth, which you do not. Water, I'm talking about.
QE said that in order to establish a horizontal, you need the horizon. That's what QE stated, right?
Yep.
I've never stated that. So how can I contradict myself if I go with something that I've never said? QE's put a fucking thought in Brian's head there. And Brian's attributed that fucking weird thought that QE had to some sort of a contradiction that I hold. Listen to it again.
He also said that when you're talking about level and horizontal, you're stepping away from reality. So maybe that's why he's arbitrarily claiming a contradiction, because obviously you're not stepping away from reality when you're talking about this.
No.
But he thinks you are. So when it becomes painstakingly clear that this is a term used to describe something in reality, maybe he thinks that's where the contradiction comes in, because now you're definitely talking about reality, while he's already stated that you're not talking about reality. So he's mixing up himself there, I think.
Yeah, I think it's multiple layers of confusion, contradictions, and all sorts. Listen to it again, listen.
Steps out of the realms of reality because he actually starts talking about how level and horizontal, when he's talking about them, he's not referring to the Earth, which is what QE picked him up on, was that how can you not be referring to the Earth if you're talking about horizontal? Is you don't have a reference point unless you're referring to the horizon.
You don't have a reference point unless you're referring to the horizon. Who the fuck said that? Some crazy dude called QE thinks you can only establish a horizontal if you've got the horizon there. I mean, that was called fucking ridiculous when he said it. But Brian still thinks it's part of a fucking contradiction. Ooh.
So Bev contradicts himself because he'll then in the next breath say all horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon. So he's contradicting himself when he says that when he's talking about level and being and horizontal being the same thing, he's not making any reference to the Earth. You can't not make a reference to the Earth.
Right.
Yeah, of course you can. You can not make a reference to the Earth. I never do. It's not within the argument. There's no point. It's not needed. Superfluous.
By the way, nobody is taking horizon on the Earth into consideration because it would be topographic horizon. So it cannot create. You are not sure.
Yeah.
If you are if you can create plane from that kind of horizon, you can do that using, let's say, horizon at sea, but not on Earth, because water seeks its level, but ground does not seek its levels. So you cannot say that, oh, if I can see horizon on the Earth, then I can make from that reference frame. No, you cannot on Earth.
Yeah.
That's why you are using auto level or water level.
You know, we have. Oh, sorry, were you not done?
Go on.
We have a lake pretty close to here, and it's all around this lake are these pretty tall mountains, like the entire way around it. And there are houses built all the way around this lake, and all of these houses are leveled, like their floors are level. But there is no horizon in view from where these houses are built. You can't see the ocean or anything from the natural bowl in the landscape. But all of these houses are built level, so there must be some wizardry at work here.
Yeah, I would say, we were talking earlier about the, this is how paralogisms are made, right? This is how you end up trapping somebody in something, right? You build them up so they say a load of, you know, they're on the train. They're like, yeah, let's go. So then QE says something fucking ridiculous that he thinks wins him the game, or Brian thinks it wins him the game. Now, Brian has repeated this stupid comment that QE made about the requirement of a horizon to establish a horizontal. But now QE's locked in on it, right? QE can't go back because Brian's just used it as a fucking thing that Nathan Oakley's put in a video. This is literally how paralogisms are made. Now, are any of these people going to correct this statement? Or are they just going to allow all of the flat earthers that watch Nathan Oakley to imagine that QE's got one over on us by saying that horizontals require a horizon, and Brian to say that that is incorporated in some sort of contradiction that I'm committing when I've never said anything like that? This is bad because they're stuck in this now. Huey's stuck in saying something that he can't get out of. He said it. Brian's telling everybody that QE said it. QE can't justify it. It just doesn't happen. It's not true. Brian's working some sort of Brian's logical contradiction thing out in his head. Obviously, misunderstanding of a contradiction. Here we go. It's going to snowball.
I mean, the border could say the same thing, if you understand what I mean.
Sure, but that's
And
not
they
who
could
Beb's
say,
appealing
oh,
to.
yeah.
So for those of you in the audience who aren't aware of who we were talking about, we're talking.
Right, here we go. Now, this is the good one. This is I'm appealing to people somehow. Nathan. I'm sorry for anybody that's listening to us here. For what Nathan's about to say, what Nathan thinks.
Talking about some guy who's rounded up a load of lost soul flat earthers who are sick of the ridicule and don't want to say the earth's flat anymore. So this guy's appealed to these lost souls and gone, I've got a way of letting you say earth isn't flat. And laughing in the face of people who say it does present itself as flat. That's what this guy's appealed to. And I didn't...
I'm not laughing in the face of people who say that the earth's flat. I'm asking them, how do they deal with the contradiction, Nathan?
And I think at the beginning it was me that was very insistent on not having a label.
Yeah.
And not being flat earther because it's not flat.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It made no sense at all. So it's not just Bev.
Yeah, why do you want to accept a label that's literally just an untruth? It's a misnomer. Obviously, an undefensible position to take into a conversation or argument, debate. So, hey, Nathan thinks everybody here is a lost soul that we've gathered together because people don't want to say the earth's flat. It's just not flat. Why would people want to say the earth's flat? Fuck's sake. Flat earthers are getting even worse than the blue marble scientists. Don't give a shit about whatever you imagine the shape of the earth to be. I don't give a shit. I'll talk to anybody. Just come as you are. Try your best to be honest within conversation. That's all anybody ever asks. There's no flat shaming goes on. No, nothing like that, Nathan. Nathan's got a few insecurities at the minute. Somebody make sure Nathan's okay.
know there was such a massive amount of lost souls that need comforting because
massive amount. Thank you very much. My numbers have grown. There are 45 people watching right now. Nathan must be doing really badly in this. A massive amount of lost souls. Unless Nathan's got some forecast of something that's going to happen. I haven't got a clue. But I don't know what he's talking about. Sounds like he's threatened about something. About people who know that the Earth's not flat. Big whoop. Nathan's a flat earther. Surely he's heard people say the Earth's not flat.
They don't want to suffer the ridicule of declaring the Earth is obviously and observably flat. So I put out a video trimmed out from the Ballbuster show on Saturday with me saying, man up, it is flat. Deal.
It's not flat, Nathan. It's just fucking not flat.
I would say that this statement, the very statement he just made, he repeated that for years.
Yeah.
This is most stupid statement.
Right.
Especially this observably.
Yeah.
I was just going to mention it too.
This just contradiction, blatant contradiction, because we can observe with naked eye that the Earth is not flat. So if he's saying that it is observably flat, it means that he has some sight issue, serious sight issue, or he cannot discern shapes, let's say.
Elevation changes. He just literally can't see them. They're not there.
Because it's, of course, observably not flat. Observably, yes.
Yeah,
and that's what model affliction does, isn't it? It doesn't let you see reality anymore once you're model afflicted. You can look at reality and just say, not that.
Yeah,
in this
there's
case,
obviously some sort of a mental break, right? Between the sight, the reasoning, and then the processing and the vocalization of the words. There's something that's breaking down there. Because it's observably not flat. Anyone can see that. This is why I think a lot of people get flat earthers mixed up. Because I'm pretty sure that not all flat earthers are taught like Nathan Oakley. But a lot of flat earthers like Rob Keane are flat earthers because they like the name and the term. But within this statement that Nathan's making, he's associating people with not knowing that there's an elevation change. Same group, same people. Nathan says that's what he's doing. He said he wants people not to be ashamed about stating that it's observably not flat. Like, I don't know.
With it. The fact that some narcissists decided to gaslight you into your comforting belief that it isn't, so you
listen to. I don't know what's like. Nathan really needs to. Somebody needs to make sure he's okay. Putting these 8-minute videos out.
So this guy's appealed to these lost souls and gone, I've got a way of letting you say Earth isn't flat. And laughing in the face of people who say it does present itself as flat. That's what this guy's appealed to. And I didn't know there was such a massive amount of lost souls.
Is he calling me a lost soul?
I think so, yeah.
Because I'm not in his group.
Only flat earthers will be saved.
Oh.
You have to confess the decree of flat earth to be saved.
Well, it's weird because I've never done that with anything, so... Sorry, Nathan.
I don't know whether he could class you as part of the group that follow, right? Because you were here first.
Well,
so I'm not too sure whether that...
Yeah, this is another thing. It's like...
we might all be following Emma. Nathan might have got everything wrong.
No, nobody follows anybody. It's like that's why we're where we are, because we don't want to follow somebody and a group of people and stuff. Anyway.
Yeah, carry on, Nathan.
Because they don't want to suffer the ridicule of declaring the Earth as obviously and observably flat. So I put out a video trimmed out from the Ballbuster show on Saturday.
I bet you do get a lot of ridicule, right, if you say it's obviously and observably flat. And they go, what, that? And you go, yeah. And it'd be like, yeah, I think somebody should be saying, yeah, there's something wrong there, mate. I wouldn't ridicule somebody. I would say, are you all right?
I would say that would be, I think, easy meme to make. Guy standing in front of tall or high mountain and saying that Earth is observably flat.
Yeah.
Or banging his head on this mountain and saying that it is observably flat.
He said,
or rolling down into a valley, like rolling down.
Yeah, something
yes,
like
it's
that.
flat!
Nathan Oakley has said that Al-Biruni measured the mountain flat. His words. So, I know this is what certain people... I mean, I didn't understand that people thought flat was an orientation until I met QE and had Adam on their drunk night out. And now, Nathan's saying something that I didn't actually ever think I would ever hear anybody say, right? I thought it was a known that flat earthers didn't actually think that the Earth's flat, but it appears Nathan Oakley's clung on to it for that long that he now appears to think that it is. Oof. This is one of the reasons I'm not a flat earther, right? Who would want to be associated with people like Nathan Oakley? Thank you for not associating yourself with us, Nathan. Thank you.
With me saying, man up. It is flat. Deal with it.
It's not.
The fact that some narcissist society gaslight you into your comforting belief that it isn't, so you can feel like you're being truthful when you put a hand on heart and say, no, it's not flat. Yeah, it is. Don't be gaslit.
Yeah, because he contradicts himself as he, even in his own words, his whiteboard is flat, but it's not two-dimensional. So you can't attack someone for saying it's flat because and say it's not flat because hills exist.
Right. Brian again.
This is wrong statement from Brian, because we are talking not about plane being flat or a geometrical description of the plane. We are not talking about 2D surface or plane. We are talking about real surface. So, and if we can say that still water, it is flat, or it is close to be flat, the Earth is absolutely different. You cannot say that Earth with mountains and valleys is very similar to still water. It's just nonsense. It is not. So it doesn't hold even as normal description, let's say visual description. It doesn't hold.
Listen to what he does say, Brian.
Can't say, no, it's not flat. Yeah, it is. Don't be gaslit.
Yeah, because he contradicts himself as he, even in his own words, his whiteboard is flat, but it's not two-dimensional.
The whiteboard is flat, but it's not two-dimensional. That's a true statement. Whiteboard's 3D. Said it. I have to screw it up onto the wall. I did that. Screwed it onto the wall. It's definitely not 2D. So what's going on with Brian here? Brian's associated flat with 2D. And the whiteboard is vertical.
So you can't attack someone for saying it's flat because and say it.
Who gets attacked? Listen to him again.
Mention it. So you can't attack someone for.
So you can't attack someone? Who's getting attacked? Seriously, Brian, what's going on?
We are. Not them. We are. We're the ones being attacked.
Well, I wouldn't say so. I think Brian feels that he's being attacked for calling it flat. They feel like they're being humiliated. They're shaming, or we're shaming them or something. I don't know.
No, I'm sorry, but the only person getting attacked or shamed yesterday in QE's chat was me for saying, no, I don't want to use flat in that context. It's not correct. You lose the argument the second you say it's flat, because all they have to do is show you a mountain. The whiteboard is flat. You can't go down to the microscopic level. The whiteboard doesn't have fucking mountains and valleys on it. That's why it's flat. But it's not 2D, it's a 3D object in reality. They're just being complete assholes.
Well, I don't know whether you're aware of it, right? But when we've been dealing with the other flat earth guys, flat earth dogma and flat earth math and all of that sort of stuff, well, don't they always go to a scale thing? And isn't that exactly what these flat earth debate guys are doing? They're saying scale. Yeah.
They are doing that, but
they
only...
are 2D... Sorry, Paper, they're 2D earthers.
Yes, and they are going only one way with this scale. Because, as I said, Nathan Oakley was talking about scale, this table that is not flat under microscope, let's say, but he is talking about, and they are talking about scale of Earth. If you go, I don't know where, outside of universe, then you will see that the surface of the Earth is flat.
Yeah. Well, you have to go, the highest you could get would be on the highest mountain.
Yes,
and
so
then that would be a bit fucking stupid of you to not notice
because
that you're on top of a fucking mountain.
He's making the same stupid argument as he's accusing globers, that you have to go to this place which is impossible to be, like globers say that they are going to vacuum of space to take pictures of the globe Earth. So now he is talking about going to that kind of place where you cannot go to see that the Earth is supposedly flat. So he's making the same idiotic argument.
And can I just say too that I literally call myself Paige the super flurf. Like I will tell people, yes, I'm a flat earther, because those words bring up a certain thought process in other people's minds. They know what I'm talking about if I call myself a flat earther. But if I'm going to actually debate somebody on, you know, what I think Earth shape is and the orientation it's in, I'm not going to use the word flat because it's not flat. It's, you know, so stop saying we're trying to get away from being flat earthers, because you're just fucking lying. You're gaslighting us now, Nathan. So shut the fuck up. I'm a flat earther. I'm proud of it. I call myself a flurf. So stop just making shit up about people. Stay in your own lane, pull your fucking head in, and it'll be the end of it. Yeah, I'm done with my rant.
Yeah, thank you, Paige. Everybody knows Paige. We've gone through some steps, haven't we, or over the years with the conversations, but like Paige says, Paige has come to a realization that I think most of us have, that it's not worth talking to certain people. They're crazy, but I never imagined that Nathan Oakley would jump on and make it so obvious that he's part of this, I don't know, anti-logos.
How cultish is it when I've been an avid and, you know, not only a supporter in his videos and what have you, I've been a financial supporter of him for many years, but now over one word that I don't want to use the same way they're using it, I'm now slow, I'm a spastic, I'm being, you know, I don't want to be a flat earther anymore, I'm a lost soul, you know, whatever else. Go fuck yourself, Nathan. My God.
Wow, was it Nathan in the chat then that was talking to you, or?
Yeah, I didn't even talk to him. I was answering, I just put a comment saying, you know, the minute you claim in a debate, the minute you claim flat, you've lost the debate. All they have to do is show you a mountain. And they just started jumping on. Brian jumped on me, Nathan jumped on me, some other guy in the chat jumped on me. And Nathan literally got to the point he's caps locking, you know, slow, are you slow, Paige?
Wow.
You know, Earth is flat. I'm like, yeah, okay, have at it, guys. Enjoy your 2D Earth. I'm out of here. You know, he'll never get any support from me ever again. That's just, you know, if he can be like this towards somebody over just the way you use a word in a sentence, then holy shit, there's something fucking wrong with that guy.
He says there's a lot of people. Right, so he's alienating a lot of people by his own words. Like into the same way that you're saying now, right? Nathan's done that, not me.
Yeah, Nathan, not you.
Yeah.
Not the flat earth, the people. I love it when the ballers come and give me hell about being a flat earther. I absolutely love it because I know that one day all of the things they've ever said to me are going to come back to them and bite them on the ass. So all I can do is, call me names all the more. Go for it. I'm extremely secure in my position, and I'm secure because of you, Bev, and the things I've learned here about geometry. Not because I go around calling the earth flat. That's not what made me secure. It was knowing the geometry behind it and the difference between 2D and 3D, and, actually making sure I use the correct words in the correct ways. That's what's made me secure.
Thank you. Yeah, but you've helped along the way, right? Some of your realizations came at times when, I don't know. Can you remember Page's proof? And what do you think of how other people viewed that, right? I think that was a personal thing. It was only me and you that went through that at that time.
Yeah. Because you were the only one that went, oh, yes.
Yeah, that entire room filled with 30, 40 people. I think that was just me and you there talking to each other.
That was my beginning of, hang on a minute. They're just changing the definition of these words in geometry. But hang on, there are books with postulates and axioms and it's all written, and I can just get that book and I can show them that, all this is all already established. That's how I became so confident in my argument, because of the geometry already established.
Yep. Yeah. We've never been dealing with the flat earth. We've always been dealing with just reality, people understanding how to pass on that knowledge, right? There's an easy way and there's a hard way. And I consider Nathan confusing the issue as much as he possibly can. When there's a very simple truth behind all of this, but if your mind gets clouded with all of this other stuff, then it becomes hard for you to be able to see the simplicity within this. And Nathan,
he's put it up as a false dichotomy too. He's saying, I'm getting the feeling from him that he's saying if we refuse to say the earth is flat, that we automatically become a glober again.
Or an anti-flat earther. Or a flat earth shamer. Or, all of these, he's got new labels to call people that don't agree with his delusions.
Yes, if you refuse to use that one word in the same way they use it, then you're all of these things and probably more when he's screaming at his wife about us. So...
Yes, you need they need not only confession, but you have to chant this confession in proper tune. So if you don't, you are...
Exactly.
Do you reckon to the music in the background? It's off-putting, but I mean, I'm used to a different music, I think.
For saying it's flat because and say it's not flat because hills exist.
It's not a reasonable position, and ultimately speaking, generally speaking, we don't give a toss about these.
It's not a reasonable position.
You are inclined.
Yeah, it's not a reasonable position to mention mountains.
To say it's not flat, because there's hills. That's not a reasonable position. Why the fuck not? Why not? Come here, Brian. Come onto the fucking show and show me anything that is observably flat about the entire Earth. Fucking Muppets.
So you can't attack someone for saying it's flat because and say it's not flat because hills exist.
It's not a reasonable position, and ultimately speaking, generally speaking, we don't give a toss about these people.
You can't attack somebody and say that mountains exist when they say it's flat.
Yes, I would say that this is new ad hominem attack. if you are saying that the Earth is not flat because we can see mountains, this is at home. Great.
It is Brian's logic. I mean, come on.
You are inclined to round up lost soul flat earthers who don't want to admit that Earth's flat because it's embarrassing socially. And they want somebody that can offer them evidence that doesn't conflict with their understanding of how Earth's flat, that gives them an out for not saying it.
What we do here is we like to give people proofs, proofs that exist in reality that you can take away. Unfortunately, one of those proofs is that it's not flat. Sorry, Nathan. So yeah, if anybody does want to feel like that they're a bit of a lost soul and you don't want to say that the Earth's flat, because it's fucking not, it's fucking ridiculous. But if you feel like you would like to try and gain some proofs from yourself that exist in reality, then yeah. Don't feel yourself as a lost soul, though. Just come in and have a chat. You might not fit in anyway. You might think we're all weird. You won't have lost anything. Click on the Discord link. Come on in. We're easy people to chat to. We're not like Nathan Oakley. We don't shout at you for saying it's not flat. We don't even shout at you for saying you're a flat earther. We don't do all of this shit.
You won't even get shouted out if you come in and say, I'm a flat earther. You won't even get shouted out for that. You'll just get given geometry to go into a debate with. That's all.
Yeah, just come in and have a chat. Even if you're Nathan Oakley. QE. Brian's logic. It doesn't really matter.
Especially if you're one of them.
You know, then if you want to do that in some quiet little server somewhere,
Discord.
no worries. But the
On the
moment you
level.
start coming out and flat shaming people because they understand that the Earth's obviously and observably flat.
Flat shaming people. This is where Nathan turns aggressive now, right?
Yeah, because the Earth is observably flat.
Yeah.
Again.
I'd like to hear that again. If you come out flat shaming people that say the Earth, see what Nathan's going to do to you.
In some quiet little server somewhere, no worries. But the moment you start coming out and flat shaming people because they understand that the Earth's obviously and observably flat, and then encourage them to come to us and say, over at this particular...
Right, he's talking about encouraging.
And then encourage them to come to us and say, over at this particular server, we get fundamentalist religious ball-believing zealots to admit that horizontal is level. It's amazing. You're like, wow, what an achievement. But when I...
Yeah, it is. It's a fucking achievement. A brilliant one.
Have I encouraged anybody to go over to Nathan and say that, though? Or has somebody been going over there and shit staring? Because Nathan seems to be on a tirade about people going over there telling him that we can get people to admit that level is horizontal. Which is,
I don't
if
know
you
if
remember,
anyone else is going over there, but I don't go there. That yesterday when I popped into QE's chat, that's literally the first time in about a year that I've even gone into one of their videos. So it's not me doing that.
Yeah. So somebody's going over there and winding Nathan Oakley up. But I mean, hey.
Does that mean we can now say like all women's chests are flat? Because, you know, if you looked at it from a microscopic level or from way out into space, it would look flat.
I don't know
Like,
whether you're allowed to notice a vertical change or not. I don't know whether Nathan would get upset about you noticing that.
I think he would. It obviously bothers him very much that there are elevation changes and that you can prove it's not flat. You know, what the fuck? I don't know why he can't just talk to us. He just has to do these things behind our back, you know, make videos and shit, and just get nasty when you come in to try. Like, instead of just saying to me, okay, Paige, why do you think that we shouldn't be saying Earth is flat in a debate? Instead of something like that, I just got attacked. Oh, you're slow, Paige. You know, it's like, what the fuck?
I've been
what
saying
is wrong with you?
You don't understand.
I've been saying it to Globers and blue marble scientists, right? That I actually have a proof that the Earth's not flat. And I'd be quite willing to match them with their proof that the Earth's not flat. So there'd be two people going into it. Wouldn't even be a debate. It'd just be a proof off where you show other people your proof that the Earth's not flat. So that you would end up having, you'd have two proofs that the Earth's not flat. But nobody wants to come and do that with us. Obviously, because the blue marble scientists don't have any proof that the Earth's not flat, and flat earthers don't want to see a proof that the Earth's not flat. So, hey, we put ourselves in a separate group. We have proof. Maybe we could do a Venn diagram. Vertical Pisces. Having proof and knowing the Earth's not flat. In the center.
Point out that as an overall topology doesn't make Earth completely flat.
Oh.
But you have a horizontal reference plane used to describe the surface.
Horizontal reference plane doesn't describe the surface. I mean, what the fuck?
Horizontal things in a horizontal orientation don't necessarily have to be flat.
He said that it is not what he phrased it completely flat.
Yeah, there we go.
Maybe we can listen again how he phrased it.
But when I point out that as an overall topology doesn't make Earth completely flat.
Did you hear what he said as well there? I don't know whether you guys are quite aware.
Topology does not make it completely flat.
Yeah, topology, though. Not topography.
But it's obviously and observably flat, and we're morons if we don't say it, even though it's not completely flat.
Yeah, but if you don't catch that little trick that he just played.
Topology.
Yeah. If you don't catch that, then you're missing out. Because at some point, Nathan will be able to say, well, I didn't say that. I said topology. What he meant to say was topography, or that's what you probably heard. You probably heard mountains and valleys measured topography, right? It's not what Nathan said.
But when I point out that as an overall topology doesn't make Earth completely flat, but you have a horizontal reference plane used to describe the surface. That's a flat Earth.
It's not.
No, no, it is non sequitur. It does not describe.
He's literally saying two different things. He's literally saying in the same freaking sentence, it's not completely flat, but it's flat.
Yes, he's contradicting. Yes.
Yeah. Not that.
This is as frustrating as hearing the ballers say, horizontal and vertical are perpendicular, but then they're not.
Yeah. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, right? The flat earth dogma, flat earth math, blue marble science, and now Nathan Oakley. They start off with that, and then they say, not that. Same sentence. That, not that. Confusion.
Now, for the people who've gone and been brainwashed by somebody who's decided to gaslight them that means Earth isn't flat.
Earth isn't flat. And don't think anybody's been brainwashed by me. And this isn't gaslighting when I say it's not flat. It's measured, not flat. The very fact that you can make a measurement means it's not flat. Vertical measurement. Elevations. Surely you've seen them.
They'll boldly declare to you how flat it isn't, after telling you how wonderful it is that you've got a bull believer who thinks the ground is curving, to tell you that it isn't curving.
No, we're talking about level and horizontal. Level being horizontal, not the ground, Nathan. He gets very upset.
And ground is curving in many directions.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see many curves all over the place.
Just spell this out for those who've been gaslit. That means the ground is flat.
Doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
What's he saying now, right? The people that have been gaslit and then says something that sounds like gaslighting.
Does he understand what gaslighting is?
I don't know.
I don't think so, Emma. I really don't. Because he's literally doing it.
I'm not too sure how effective a flat Earth gaslighter is, though. Really, it's just adding an element of confusion for the flat Earth society, right? But I don't know. I'm not so sure how many people he's going to get with this.
If you want to take comfort in somebody telling you that you don't have to say that conclusory statement, grow a pair of balls. Take some pride in what you know to be true.
Grow a pair of balls, especially you and Emma and Paige.
Rhetoric. Empty rhetoric.
Wow.
Yeah.
A guy that hates women telling everyone to get some balls.
That means it is flat. Earth
It's not.
is flat. That's level. Horizontal.
Is he slow?
Level and horizontal don't mean flat.
Sounds like Ranty. Can you remember the Flanty Rat Earth?
Yeah.
That's what it sounded
How
like
did you
just
say
then.
plenty rat Earth?
Yeah.
Say that this is spelling or cursing,
Love it.
pronouncing the spell many times to have better effect, because there is no argument.
Yeah.
So he's just repeating the spell.
Gaslighting. He's calling us gaslighters. Sorry, people, if you feel like you've been gaslit. Come in, challenge us. Make sure you haven't been. I'm not saying that you won't be able to do the same with Nathan. I'm not so sure. I think Paige had to go talking to him, but...
Is flat. That's level. Horizontal. Give me no toss about this. I've got valleys. I've got mountains. Yeah, that's absolutely fascinating. And likewise, a flat whiteboard has got microscopic undulations in it.
Yeah?
Doesn't alter what we can describe it as. That's a flat Earth.
No, a whiteboard. You'd be struggling to call my whiteboard a flat Earth.
But still, surveyors don't measure at microscopic scale. So this analogy is completely false.
That's precisely how it's navigated and measured. As you all well know.
How can it be measured flat? What the fuck is he talking about? It's not measured flat. The fact that you can make a vertical datum and there's a vertical measurement that can be made.
If the Earth was flat, there would be nothing to measure. Surveyors would be fired, out of work.
Well, you'd only have to do the triangulation, wouldn't you? You wouldn't need to do the elevation measurements. You'd be happy with that. Like, let's just do triangulation. Boom, done. Thanks very much. Don't need to do anything else.
Don't deny what you are. It's pathetic.
And it uses one of the...
Deny what you listen to him. I thought that was great. It's like like he's rounding people up, like William de Bruce, is it? Riding his horse up and down at the things.
Hell no. Don't deny what you are. It's pathetic.
And it uses one of the arguments where the ballers try to confuse topology with the baseline that you measure that topology against.
Did you hear him do it as well? Now, I don't know whether this is
topology.
purposeful.
Again.
Yeah. Not topography. Topography is the mountains and the valleys and the elevation changes. Topology is not. Look it up for yourself. Check it out. We're talking about topography when we talk about measurements. The measurements of the topography. The elevation changes of the land. If you want to look into the other one, just look it up for yourself. See what Nathan's been dealing with. No wonder he's messed up.
You know, it's really sad.
It's really sad. Who was that? Refracted curvature. Thank you very much.
What's sad that we won't use flat the way they want to use it.
I think so.
So that's literally, that's all they're getting their panties in a bunch about, is that I don't want to call level and horizontal flat as well.
Well, no,
well, they
because
can go
they
fuck
want.
themselves. I'll do what I want.
They're calling the Earth flat. It's like a switcheroo, like QE did with the modus tollens. You start talking about one thing,
yes,
and then you just do a switcheroo at the end. It's called a paralogism. False conclusion.
Oh man, they need to come and have a chat.
Well, anytime the door's open, we'll even go over there. I'll go over there and have a chat with them. But obviously, Nathan loves his mute button. And I've seen this topography happening. But strangely enough, like I keep saying, it's not the flat earth debate, guys. It's the flat earth maths and the flat earth dogma and all of these other flat earthers. The society guys that are trying to introduce an argument that's never been made about swapping a word from topography to topology. Seems like Nathan Oakley's in it as well. No?
They're not one and the same.
No.
FED is FES.
I think so, yeah. I think that's what I'm saying. Anybody with flat earth such and such, doesn't really matter. FE something, they're all flat earth society guys, aren't they? They're the same thing. And Nathan just happens to be flat earth debate. He got the debate title. They handed out the data, the dogma, the mathematics. I don't know whether geometry is going to be coming. It's like the seven dwarfs. I don't know where Snow White is.
Yeah, don't forget Pilot.
Oh yeah, FE Pilot. Yeah. There's quite a few of them that go around with this FE tag. There's only one of them that goes overboard and starts saying that he thinks that the Earth's flat and there's no measurable changes. It's measured flat, which I'm not too sure what that means. I can remember Rakia saying that he actually met people that he thought that the Earth was actually flat, right? Because he'd obviously been saying, flat earther, right? The people associate this sort of stuff that Nathan does to this. And it's weird, right, as well, because Brian is associating it with 2D. When there's another group of people that want every surface to be 2D. And that is the flat earth dogma and flat earth math. Flat earth, what? They all want everything to be 2D. Or maybe they just want to confuse people that reality isn't reality anymore. Perhaps they're preparing the way for this VR thing that's to come in. And it sounds ridiculous for it, but I mean, who's going to push it? Well, let's get the flat earthers to push it. It does sound ridiculous, but hey, they can take the ridicule. Everybody thinks they're ridiculous already. So let's just get Nathan to go around telling everybody that he does actually think it's flat. Let's get Nathan attacking people that say you can do fuck all with an angle. Really weird stuff. So does everybody feel like a lost soul wandering around, filtering into somewhere where you can say it's not flat? Or has Nathan got it mixed up and this is like a reality break from constant bullshit about people who are obsessed with the shape of something that nobody really gives a shit about? Meaningless shit.
Is that why I'm driving around in circles? Been driving now for half an hour. I'm going around the block. Oh, I'm lost. Lost.
Okay, so I don't know where we're going to go from here now. Takes a while to take this sort of stuff in. Flat earthers, for some reason, are obsessed with us. They're talking about us in the after show. The Blue Marble scientists are also obsessed. You'd think that this would be the best time for the Blue Marble scientists to talk to Nathan Oakley about it. You'd think that there may be some trolls out there, at least, wondering what's going on, why Nathan Oakley's doing all of this. I don't seem to get any. I just seem to get a very, very few people, limited, talking to me about it. It's almost as though this thing's set up so Nathan Oakley and the Flat Earth Society guys can push a narrative about something that they well, I don't know. I can't even understand it. Vertical and horizontal are perpendicular. It's straight lines. The fact that you can establish a horizontal plane in reality is that's where we're at. Why is nobody attempting it to even talk about it? Yeah, even Utes mentioned seeing it. They're part of the same team, aren't they, Ute? What's going on? They're all banding together because they don't want to see reality. Neither side of this, the false dichotomy, have been distracting everybody from reality.
What did he call the people that are part of the server that come to the server here? What did he call us?
Lost souls.
Lost souls.
Well, that's what he called you in this one. He's called you a lot worse in others.
I know. Nathan, you ever hear the saying, don't become too big for your own shoes? You ever hear that saying?
Oh, you're a small fish compared to Nathan Oakley. He's a superman, superhero. Flat Earth superhero. He speaks for a lot of them.
He's a legend in his own mind, it seems.
Yeah, Rob Keane says they call us Bevtards. Or they call you Bevtards. Lost souls. There's all sorts of different names they've made up.
So what would we call them? Nathards or Nathlings? Nathards?
I literally, I wouldn't bother. I'd just call them flat earthers. And if they start saying like Nathan that it's obviously and observably measured as flat, I'd just ask him to get Nathan to show you where it's done. So can you show us somebody measuring it flat? I'd love to see that.
I got one. How about Natharoonies? Yeah, I like that one. What are you, a Natharoony?
We just call them flurfs. Call them by the tag that they so adopted.
Yeah, that's good too. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I would definitely say that Nathan Oakley has quite obviously separated us from Flat Earth, right? If the great superhero of the Flat Earth debate community, Nathan Oakley, has said that we are not Flat Earthers, then obviously we're not Flat Earthers. Right, I got some little comments from the YouTube. I'll get them in the chat. From right early this morning it was. I don't know how far I'm going to have to go back.
While I was in the chat yesterday, after a few comments, somebody put, "Oh, next she'll be saying you can do fuck all with an angle." So I put, "You can do fuck all with an angle." Put that in too.
Right. So
imagine having the gall to think that you can speak for a whole community, and not only that, think that what you say must be obeyed by everybody. Imagine the gall of that, man. That really irks the hell out of me.
Oh, when you get to the
sounds
lofty
really
position that
narcissistic.
Nathan Oakley is, then you can obviously do that. He's a leader. Did you not know that?
I think he's tied his cape too tight around his neck.
Yeah, I agree, Paige. Yep.
So this is a conversation. Can you see that on there? Yeah, good. Okay. So this is a conversation that I've been having with Mr. Xavier. Now, he used to be over here, but he left when Right the Hand had his point problem. So, Mr. Xavier, we were talking about the whiteboard, right? And I said to him, the whiteboard's 3D. The surface of mine is flat and vertical, but the entire whiteboard is not flat. It's 3D. It's got a little thing around the edge. And then Mr. Xavier says, if flat is without indentation and the surface of your whiteboard has microscopic indentations, it'd therefore entail the surface of your whiteboard isn't flat. I'm pretty sure we've had this conversation that it's just a visual surface condition, but the whiteboard is obviously vertical. Mr. Xavier says, imagine quibbling about Nathan Oakley acknowledging where the sky and the earth appear to meet being flat, while applying a double standard to the surface of a whiteboard. Mr. Xavier has got confused there with the thing. If you're talking about flat, it's quite okay to say the whiteboard, but if Nathan's talking about where the sky and the earth appear to meet, I mean, he's talking about the horizon. Well, Nathan appears to be saying that the earth's flat, not the horizon. So please get it right, Xavier. Don't try and white knight an argument that Nathan's not making, because it makes you look really bad. And then Nathan Oakley says, is a whiteboard 2D? Smiley face. And then he says, your members are waking up to Bev's doublespeak. Who's Nathan? Is he talking to Mr. Xavier? And his members? Does Mr. Xavier have members? It says, meanwhile, the heights of the mountains are referenced to a flat plane. Earth is flat, says Nathan Oakley. And then he says, go gaslight Dumbos. Earth is flat. Big E. You know what we say about Big E? If you have Big E in your life, then... is Nathan Oakley telling you to go and gaslight Dumbos? Or is he calling his members and subscribers Dumbos? Obviously, it's obvious what the gaslighting is. But, I mean, like, who's Nathan calling Dumbos? The people that need gaslighting? Or his subscribers and members? What's this, Rob? What are you doing?
That's my whole conversation.
Oh, from
in the chat. Yep, from QE's. He's gone and found it. Good on you, Rob. Awesome. I couldn't be fucked. Have a look what he says to me. Like, unbelievable.
Tell us the Earth isn't 2D again.
Nathan even writes topology.
Yeah?
Yep. But I'm the one that's slow here, remember.
Vertical datums are based on heights above horizontal, but that doesn't make flat geometric, says Brian's logic. A nonsensical statement.
So why are they using it as a geometric thing then? They're saying the Earth is flat, as if that's a geometric orientation of the Earth.
Yeah.
So why are they using... Brian, fuck me, you have no logic whatsoever. All you have to do is just read what they type just a couple of times, think about it, go over it in your head, what they're actually saying, and you'll see 90% of the time they're contradicting themselves in their own sentence or telling us we're doing something they're doing.
Oh, he's doing that fucking repetition. Nathan Oakley says 2D, Brian. Bev's gaslighting working beautifully. No, we have hills, love. Rob Keane says mean sea level is measured on a vertical datum.
I'm supposed to call it flat, even though he's just told me we've got hills.
Yeah, Brian's logic says Bev said that his whiteboard is flat, but it's not 2D, question mark. And there's another person that does that, I've noticed, within the troll community. They write out a statement and then put question mark after it. Bev said his whiteboard is flat, but it's not 2D. Yeah, very true, Brian. It's definitely not 2D because it exists in reality, therefore it's 3D. 3D has nothing to do with flatness. The fact that it exists in reality has got nothing to do with it being flat. That's a complete non sequitur. And then Nathan Oakley says their heights are a reference to a flat Earth 9 times. 9 times, laughing face. It's not.
Yeah, he literally thinks just typing the same thing over and over, just repeating the same thing over and over means he's right, I'm wrong. And that, like, he doesn't, he's given, he literally, oh my God, he literally said it doesn't mean it's completely flat.
Yeah, meanwhile, the topology is referenced to a flat Earth 8 times. Nathan, look it up, man. Check it out.
This is so bad.
I only talk about topography purposely.
And geometry purposely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nathan's talking about topology. I don't think he really understands what it is, but I mean, good for you, Nathan. Well done. Carry on.
Yeah, carry on. You're doing a great job ostracizing everybody who used to support you. So, yeah, well done.
Yeah, and at the end you put enjoy your 2D Earth.
Yeah, I left. I could see, well, I mean, not one of them actually just typed, okay, Paige, tell us why you think this way or what, you know. They just attacked. So why bother? Why bother?
Well, it seems like there's a few things that are going on around these conversations right now. I immediately went to my Twitter to go and have a look, and then this is pretty surprising considering who's turned up again in the troll community. Geist View. So this one, I think I can get the entire conversation of this. There you go. Right. So this is the first tweet where I mentioned mountains and valleys negate flatness, but the water is level. So, and it date the 9th of February 2020. So again, over 2 years ago, Nathan, you need to catch up big time. Oh, actually, it's nearly 3 years ago, isn't it? Right, so quote here at the top of mine, it says, you don't want to alienate your surveying guy over a discussion over faith, do you? Do you have faith in R, brackets? This is KC. KC's the one that originated the reciprocal. We'll get into that at some point. Talking Aaron is pretty easy to alienate, Bev. That doesn't mean he's ever going to think the Earth is flat. This is the people that are trying to tell me that the Earth's flat, and I'm saying no. Aaron is the disco ball surveyor that didn't last long. He did a Jesse Kozlowski before Jesse Kozlowski. He never made it off Twitter, Aaron. I don't know who that original character was. Aaron Burrell, he was called. He used to pretend he was a surveyor. So KC says, Aaron is a pretty easy to alienate, Bev. That doesn't mean he's ever going to think the Earth is flat. And I say, why should he? He's a surveyor. He knows there's topography just like me and you. Remember, this is the first time I used this over nearly 3 years ago. He knows there's topography with a G. That's what you're listening for. Topography. And Casey says, Bev, why do you insist on being so daft? I've been over that with you. Flat refers to the structure supporting the topography. Right? And I put, what structure? So you admit that using the term flat earther is a misnomer then? What they call themselves, Martin says. What they call themselves, people like Nathan Oakley. It's a misnomer. Even these people I'm talking to 3 years ago on Twitter.
Yeah, like me right now.
Yeah.
My model affliction, I'm sorry.
It says what they call themselves. And I say to Martin, I say, have I? And yet you label me and call me names. You judge me and say that I abuse children. You say a lot of nasty things about me for what? Straight lines. You even defend people who commit libel. Hashtag Globe Defender fails. Martin Hepworth says, it's not libel. Stop talking to Riley. He has zero clue. And then it says, have a read. Tell us what you think. And then I put a little clip about libel. If you want to check it out, look it up for yourself. See what it says. It says, how would it be possible to harm your reputation, Bev? You're a flat earth muppet. You've reached rock bottom. So said that this is 3 years ago by people calling me a flat earther when I've never said I'm a flat earther. Not a flat earther. And then, yeah, how would it be possible to harm your reputation, Bev? You're a flat earth muppet. You've reached rock bottom.
Technically, it's not flat.
Yeah, and I put not even a flat earther. I've not even said I'm a flat earther, right? Not even. Are you guys confused or what? Mountains and hashtag mountains. Check it on Twitter. There's plenty of them. You can look at every tweet I've ever wrote that hashtag. Just go to Twitter now. Search hashtag mountains and valleys negate flatness, but the water is level. This tweet here is a link back to this particular tweet, and it says, I don't care what you have. And Astrogeist, who is no more, he had to change that account. He's now called Geistview, but this was the original one. Cold Eye Astrogeist. But do you Bev is not a flat earther? Did you know Bev is not a flat earther? This is Astrogeist, but we call him Geistview. I put, nice. Finally, you recognise the mountains and valleys. Now we can talk about the water level. You admit that the very saying is a misnomer. And he puts at the bottom, thanks for confirming you are not a flat earther. And so I'll say it again, I'm not a flat earther. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but this is 3 years ago, and there's a hashtag. Mountains and valleys negate flatness. Check it out for yourself. Anyone can go to Twitter and do it. Check out the Defend the Flat Earthers hashtag while you're at it. I don't know whether Nathan's got anything like that. And then here's another one. This is Casey stating, it's a scale representation, Bev. This is from the 12th of the 2nd, 2020. And I say, yeah. What's the scale you're trying to show? Is there no contours on the map? Ever seen a topographical map? It has a scale wrote on it. No coins needed. Globe Defender fails. Hashtag Globe Defender fails. Hashtag mountains and valleys negate flatness, but the water is level. And there's a few pictures here. One of them is a topographical map of the UK that I have on my wall. Well, it's fallen off the wall. It's there at the bottom of the wall. And there it is on the wall, and there's the scale on it. I've been doing this for quite a while. Nathan thinks we're trying to say that we're trying to shame people. Well, no. We're just getting people up to speed with reality. Because a lot of people have told them fucking stupid things like the Earth's flat when it's not. And giving people shit arguments to enter into a conversation with somebody is useless. They won't help you. Got some more. Martin says, oftentimes when people ask what I do on my lunch break, I say math problems. And they say, so like adding and subtracting? I just nod and say yes. This is a mathematics one. I said, ever attempted the horizontal, vertical, perpendicular conundrum? He says, no. So I say, don't. It's more than a mind can take. So if anybody ever offers you a mathematical challenge of the vertical and horizontal conundrum, perpendicular conundrum, leave it alone. Don't go with it. else have we got? Oh, it was useless. This is another one of the flat Earth guys. Oh, big. This is the FE pilot. He's part of the Flat Earth Society who's come back for a minute. He's been on a bit of a break, but he's coming back. He said nobody cares about parallels. Except, of course, if you're doing geometry, and then it's pretty important that you have a fully good understanding of parallels, especially within angles and angular relationship. They come in very handy. A lot of theorems. And I've got a thing on Twitter at the minute that I'm just testing out. One says, would you be willing to give up your understanding of horizontal and vertical? People can't really see why they'd need to give up the vertical and horizontal or their understanding of it. It's a pretty particular question, really, but I'm guessing it goes out to everyone. I'm guessing it's going to have to be a question that loads of people are going to have to ask themselves. Now, Nathan Oakley's bringing this out to be a pretty big deal about the understanding of flat. Whether it can have elevation changes and still be called flat. The flat, not flat. Whether you can deal with contradictions like that. I've always asked people, how do they deal with the contradiction if they say the Earth's flat? I mean, Paige will know that. Rob will know that. Anybody that comes in here as a flat earther would know that. I think Nathan knows that. I've asked Nathan how he deals with the contradiction. I don't think he took it too well. I don't think Nathan could actually answer the question. How do you deal with living with the contradiction of knowing it's not flat while saying that you think it is flat or observably, measurably flat when it isn't?
But what does that even mean, Bev? They've given me no information about the orientation or the shape, what Earth actually is. You know, to just go, yeah, Earth's flat. So no wonder they laugh at us. Like, seriously.
Yeah, well, they've got an argument about an angle that they've not been very forthcoming about. They seem to have forgotten. Yeah. The procedure of once you acquire the angle, what the fuck are you going to do with it?
You know, the fact you can acquire an angle at all, I think, is their argument that you've done something with it by acquiring it somehow. Like, I don't think they realise that we're saying, okay, you've got an angle, so now what are you going to do? Not, oh, well, I've made an angle, so I've done something with an angle.
Well, I think Mr. Xavier started another one, but I don't know whether I actually got that one. But yeah, I think they're trying to associate the sextant with a water level, it seems like. That little thing that Brian's logic did, where he sort of said you couldn't prove that water level was a tool for establishing a horizontal without looking at a light in the sky and measuring an angle. I think that's gone into a lot. Yeah, he's led that paralogism all of his own. That's his now. He's been.
That's the most
Yes.
idiotic thing I've heard all day. Oh my goodness.
He's been given his cape of his own, as he was saying.
Yeah, well, his is done up too tight too. They're starting to, you know. Oh my goodness.
Here it is. I've got it here.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly say something about all those pictures I posted of the chat thread. Sorry, Paige, but it wasn't actually for you. But I'm glad that your little quips were in there too.
Well, yes, me too then. If it wasn't for me,
Yeah,
I'm glad my things
No,
were there.
but you were talking to Nathan and he was completely ignoring all of my posts.
Hey, the rage was filled, was it?
Yeah, I was trying to butt in, but if you look at like what I was typing, it was kind of in conjunction with Paige, just trying to get Nathan to respond to me, and he wouldn't even answer my and nothing. He wouldn't say anything that I said was wrong either, because nothing I said was wrong.
Yeah, he can't.
Right, so this is a conversation again with Mr. Xavier. He seems to be one of the mouthpieces for Nathan Oakley, and he's one of the guys that disappeared from here when Right the Hand had his point problem, which of course obviously nobody's ever had a discussion about, and obviously many paralogisms were gained at that sort of time. Nobody really understands what was going on, but Mr. Xavier decided to do this. He says the horizon is analogous to one end of a water level as a sextant is to the other end. Try thinking. I don't even want to know what that means.
What if you're standing in front of mountains? What if you can't? What if the horizon is like covered in trees or something?
It's not analogous to one end of a water level as a sextant is to the other end. It doesn't mean anything. It's a nonsense statement. A water level is a tool that incorporates water. It doesn't incorporate an apparent position and an angle measuring device. They're not analogous to each other in any way.
Maybe analogous that they're both tools that people can use.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all I can come up with.
He says, why try to undermine a sextant's ability to establish a flat baseline to the horizon? What's that mean?
What orientation is that in?
It's an angle measuring device. Why try to undermine a sextant's ability to establish a flat baseline to the horizon, while presupposing two ends of a water level are points of a line segment that's parallel to a plane of the horizon?
I would say that this is self-refuting statement because people are using sextant because they cannot establish horizontal plane of reference because they are moving on the boat. So they cannot, they wobble back and forth. So this is a tool which cannot establish horizontal plane of reference. That's why you have to do some calculations.
Who wrote the almanac?
Or whatever, but the tool itself cannot establish this plane of reference, horizontal, like water level does.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not the same at all. So I say to him, a sextant is just an angular measurement device. Surely you're not comparing it with a water level for establishing a horizontal plane of reference, are you? The Earth is not flat. Level is proof of that. To which Mr. Xavier says, if said measured angle necessitates one of its rays being a flat baseline to the horizon, if said measured angle necessitates one of its rays being a flat baseline to the horizon, i.e. horizontal, why wouldn't it be comparable to a water level that establishes the same? Because it doesn't.
No.
Fucking hell. Go on. Oh, is that a hot mic? No. If said measured angle necessitates one of its rays being a flat baseline to a horizontal, i.e. to the horizon, i.e. horizontal, why wouldn't it be comparable to a water level that establishes the same?
I would say again, but in other words, there is something like a bubble sextant on aeroplanes. So if sextant alone could establish horizontal plane, this bubble would be redundant. So if they use, let's say, something like Carpenter level with sextant, it means that this bubble is establishing horizontal plane, not sextant.
Yeah, and also, you wouldn't cite a horizontal plane with a bubble level, would you? So to assume that a horizontal plane is established within a sextant just the same as a water level is misrepresenting it.
Yes, if you are using light bubble sextant, you don't need to watch the horizon. In fact, it would be misleading because you will have to dip down to horizon because horizon is not on horizontal. It's as you are looking at it, you have to dip the angle down. So, but in bubble sextant, you just don't do that because bubble is establishing this horizontal and the sextant is set. You don't need to look at the horizon.
Yeah, but the point I would have to make again is that because it's got a bubble on the sextant doesn't mean that the sextant is establishing an horizontal plane. It's just orientating the tool. That's it.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
The bubble is establishing, not sextant, because we have two, let's say, type of sextants. One with bubble and one without. On the ship, they are using sextant without bubble because they cannot. They are unstable. And on the ship, they cannot establish using only sextant this horizontal plane. They have to make that dip correction or whatever. So, and dip correction is not the sextant work. This is calculation only. But with the bubble sextant, they don't need to correct anything because this bubble establishes, not sextant. That was my point. That if you have bubble sextant, the bubble, this Carpenter level or whatever it is, in fact, is establishing horizontal plane of reference, not sextant. That was my point, that in both cases, this is not sextant, what is establishing horizontal plane.
Well, I think it's not really establishing a horizontal plane at all. It's just orientating the bottom arm of the sextant in the horizontal position. That's not establishing a horizontal plane of reference.
Yes, it is, of course, but in fact, if we have bubble sextant, this bubble only establishes, not if you detach this bubble from sextant in aeroplane, this sextant would be useless. So in fact, this is not sextant alone establishing anything.
It's just an angle measuring device from one point on a vertical to another, unless you're orientating it horizontally, and then you can measure points on land. Just by sighting one point to the other point. I mean, that's how a sextant works. He says, if one of the rays of an angle measuring device to the horizon is horizontal, well, who says that? Who says one of the rays, or is it just an if statement? And a water level establishes a horizontal plane of reference. Right, so what he's saying is saying, if one of the rays of an angle measuring device to the if one of the rays of an angle measuring device to the horizon is horizontal, and so this is an and a water level establishes a horizontal plane of reference, it would therefore entail horizontal is an indispensable part of a water level and said measuring device. Simple logic, he says. He says that's simple logic. It's not, is it?
No, it is not. It is simple. Logic is simple, but his statement implies that sextant already establishes horizontal plane of reference as water level does. And it is not true, because he has two ifs. If sextant establishes, or however he phrased that, and water level 2, then we have outcome that both of them they are establishing a horizontal plane of reference. But it is obvious that sextant is not a tool to establish horizontal plane of reference as water level. So this is just false. His first condition is false.
It's light rays of an angle measuring device. If one of the rays of an angle measuring device to the horizon is horizontal, I mean, who says that? What does that even mean?
I want to know why we keep referring to the lines as rays.
Because that's what all they've got. It means a light. That's all a ray is.
Straight line?
Well, it's light, yeah. It's how they describe light.
Yeah.
But, I mean, a sextant doesn't establish a horizontal light ray. And that's an assumption, obviously. Made by this man by simply looking at the horizon.
I would say that this is impossible, because if you are at some elevation, any elevation, and you are literally looking at the horizon through sextant, it means that this sextant is not in horizontal position, because horizon is below. That's why they say that they have to do this deep correction. So they have to recalculate this position, not horizontal position of sextant, to horizontal in calculations only. They are not doing that in physically. They are only making calculations. But when they are looking at the horizon and the star, and they are aligning them to one, the sextant is not in horizontal position and cannot be, because they are above, let's say 2 or 3 or 10 feet. If they are on the ship, they are like 10 or 15 feet above actual sea level there. So it cannot be horizontal. Simple.
And even if you rephrase it to say that if one of the rays of an angle measuring device is horizontal, without including this to the horizon bit, which makes it impossible, then you would still need an actual level, a tool called a level, to orient that part of the sextant horizontally in the first place. The sextant does not do that on its own.
Yes, that's why in aeroplanes they use bubble sextant. So something is
come
attached.
on. Do you think that they really use sextants in planes?
I don't think so, but they say that it is present in case of that electronics will collapse or whatever, as backup. But let
no one
give them that.
Is that so after they crash and they all die, that then they can find their way?
So the rescue team will find intact bubble sextant.
Because all of those electronics that mean that their navigation system is screwed, probably. Yeah.
But still, they use that. They call that bubble sextant or spirit level or whatever. But still, it is something else. This is not sextant alone that is leveling itself in the airplane. So sextant does not establish anything.
Getting this one. This one's a good one. This is what a lot of people, you'll probably hear a lot of people talking about this. This one actually is, this is a new guy on Twitter. Oh, it's a bit too big. A new guy on Twitter, and he says, I'll just read out his tweet, see whether you notice any familiarity. He says, can't you see the mountains? Proves it's not flat. Go ahead, ask Bev the difference between topography and topology. Or are those really two words for the same concept? Interesting one to get into, that. Some other time, obviously. Perhaps Nathan Oakley wants to get into that conversation with people. Seems like he's using one of them. And I'm just talking about topography. The elevation changes of the land that makes it obviously and observably not flat. But, hey, the new trolls are around. Nathan Oakley's joining them, it seems. So this is the next one. Oh. Should we read that, Saragaki? Yeah?
I just wanted to put it in. You can read it if you want, but we can do it another day as well.
Yeah. Okay, this says, I don't know whether you can... key difference, topology versus topography. Topology and topography are two words that are commonly misused by many English speakers. Although these two words sound alike, They have very different meanings. Topology is concerned with the geometrical properties and spatial relations that are unaffected by the continuous change of shape or size of figures. Topography is concerned with the arrangement of the natural and artificial physical features of an area. The key difference between topology and topography is that topology is a field in mathematics, whereas topography is a field in geometry. So there's obviously two different things. Geography. Geography. The land, the geography, and the other one's mathematics. So you don't want to get your mathematics and your actual physical stuff mixed up. At least I wouldn't want anybody to get mixed up about it. That's why I only talk about topography. The measured elevation changes of the land. You wouldn't want to get people mixed up with topology. A completely different field within mathematics. You'd have to go and look into that for yourself. And then you'll find out why they're using it. Because that'll shock you. To know that Nathan Oakley and all of them are playing mind games with everybody. Fucking about with mathematics. Interesting. Oh. You can't really see my comment at the top. My comment says, verticals don't change, and there's no measurement of an angle between two verticals. I'll say that again. Verticals don't change. I'll find the original thing, actually. That might help us out a bit. You might be able to see this one a bit better. Right, so this is obviously I'm talking to Wally, because this is, where's Wally? He says no to flat means yes to curvature. So Bev, what is the rate that verticals change? Is what Wally said. Asking me a stupid question. Anybody else got an answer that they think they come up with? Don't be swayed by mine.
And this question, this is a question with thesis inside. So this is malfunction question. Because if he is talking about rate, so he is implying that verticals have to change.
Yeah, verticals change to where? What's he talking about? It needs another qualifier, obviously, to understand what Wally's talking about. But asking a madman about verticals changing when you know vertical's vertical doesn't change. There's not much point asking Wally about the change that he's talking about. You may as well just tell him, like I say, verticals don't change. And there's no measurement of an angle between two verticals, which means an angle is a measurement between two straight lines. It's the inclination of one straight line to another straight line. Both of those lines cannot be vertical. There's no possible measurement that anybody could make between a vertical and a vertical. Impossible. So that's what I'm saying there. Understandable, right? There's no change in vertical ever, and there's no measurement that can be made from a vertical to a vertical. And then Wally says, because you'll hear quite a lot of this now, that's the funniest, most illogical response you could ever have given, Bev. Talk about internally inconsistent. You say they can't change and that you can't measure them. Well, will, which is it? One, Wally, I'll say it again, verticals don't change. And two, you cannot measure an angle between a vertical and a vertical. You can't orientate your angle measuring device vertically and then move it to vertical and measure an angle. It's not possible. But Wally, you're the blue marble scientist. Any blue marble scientist. Let's see whether you can measure that angle. Open to any blue marble scientists. Come on in. Let's hear it. He never had a model there to start off with. It's embarrassing for them. Wally's one of the most delusional people that he's passed on a stolen concept to blue marble science. And now he's saying, well, he's obviously getting confused. You can see that. Telling him that there's no change. But he has to misrepresent what's said in order for him to get, to conjure some sort of paralogism defense out of it. It's getting embarrassing to see these people leading this sort of thing from each other. Talking about the not that, but they're never ever showing anything.
It's interesting, this one. Vertical is perpendicular to horizontal. These are two orientations that are what they are in reality. And you can establish each one independently. So vertical is what it is. If it changes, it's no longer vertical. That would be a violation of the law of identity if you claim that whatever it changed to is also vertical. It can't be, because it's something else than vertical at that point.
Equipotential angle of adjustment.
Yeah. Talk about the paralogism.
It's gonna come. George made that up, bless his soul, for us quite a bit ago. And these guys are walking us right back to it. Seems like they've got Nathan Oakley helping them at the same time. Go on, sorry.
I would say about verticals, that's why blue marble science is avoiding this term, because he's talking about divergent zenith angles, because I would say that even for him it is very hard to say divergent verticals. So he's saying the zenith angles diverge, not horizontal, not verticals, because it sounds just ridiculous.
You know, a zenith angle is just a vertical angle. So you could potentially be standing in one spot, use whatever angle measuring device you want, measure an angle. Let's say you measure 33 degrees. Then you take a step to the side and you measure a different vertical angle, let's say 45 degrees. Those two lines, that is not the horizontal line in this case, which are two different horizontal lines, because these are two different angles you're measuring. Those two lines that is not the horizontal line, they are divergent, but they are not actually vertical lines.
Yes, yes, of course. So, but still, I would say that it is hard even for Globers to say divergent verticals. So they are just renaming it. They mean the same, but they are renaming it to maybe to feel better or what.
Well, again, when we were talking about this earlier, I think one of them drops another one in it whenever they're talking about these things. It's how they get trap people into it. Certain people will say things, and then, like Brian was with QE, these guys are gonna they're going to say that blue marbles proved that plumb bobs aren't parallel soon. And then that'll change to verticals. Blue marble will end up with a proof of something that he never proved, but something he won't be able to get out of because these guys will trap him in it. Blue Marble's going to end up with his name on something that he never really said and he's been ushered into in the name of Blue Marble science. Good luck, Blue.
Shout out Buster, because we did this that's well over a year ago now, a year and a few months ago now, where Buster said if you are going to prove that plumb bobs aren't vertical, you have to use plumb bobs. He said it a little differently, but basically that's the sentiment. You have to use plumb bobs if you're going to prove something about plumb bobs. You can't just use something else and then relate that to plumb bobs completely arbitrarily.
Well, Blue said it himself. He's linked vertical, zenith, plumb, and gravity all together. They're all the same.
Well, he's allowed to make the link between zenith and vertical, but a zenith angle is not a vertical line. That is the distinction, that he is still maintaining that same relationship, zenith vertical, when he's talking about zenith angles, which in that case it is not the same as vertical. It's an angle measured from the horizontal plane, so it's not vertical. So that's the tongue-in-cheek thing you have to keep in mind here, that they're using these words to conflate them so that they will sow confusion at best.
Well, here we go. Here's another paralogism from the guy that seems to be talking a lot about psychology and narcissism, strangely enough. Plato Chips, he's called. I associated him with Nathan Oakley as soon as I heard him start doing this. And it may not be Nathan Oakley, but I mean, it could be, because he's never talked to anyone and he's been trolling people for years. So could be Nathan Oakley. Who knows? He says, confusion seems to be yours, Bev. This is on after the Wally thing. He says, you declare reciprocal zenith angles can't be measured. I never said that, did I? When did I declare that? No, I'd said that you can't measure an angle between two verticals. But,
it's in relation to that?
Yeah, I don't think he thinks that reciprocal zenith angles are between two verticals. Really weird understanding of that. He says, yet people who actually work in surveying and civil engineering say they can and are measured. Yeah, you can measure an angle from each end of a straight line. It's dead easy to do. You can even orientate that straight line horizontally and measure an angle at either end of it too. Dead easy to do. 69 miles. 1 degree change. I mean, that's an angle at each end of a straight line. And then here's Geistview as well. He's come back. I told you, like, these people come around every now and again. He says, weird how Bev doesn't go out and make a video showing how the can't be measured. He claims to be a trained surveyor. I said you cannot measure an angle between a vertical and a vertical. Not that you can't measure angles, or that you can't do surveying. How bad is their argument?
What argument?
Yeah, I know. This is the best they've got. Drawings about stuff saying that horizontal bends. I'm working on the flat Earth math one. just trying to get something in the background so you guys can listen to it. Oh, come on. Right, let me find this clip. It may sound a bit. Right, let me share this for you guys. This is my video editing thing, so me. Oh. Discord. There you go. Oh, you don't actually. Do you need to see it? Doesn't really matter. Here we go. You guys can see it anyway. So this is my new video editor. I'm doing a new Buster song and Only Fools and stuff. Going over this. Right, let us know if you can hear it in Discord, and you guys should be able to. I just want to go over a little bit.
Benchmarks in surveying.
Yeah.
So let's revisit the original diagram.
Right, here we go.
Yeah.
So he's going on. This is Flat Earth Math that says he's doing a rebuttal to something he got triggered onto, right? So you get the script that he did his little magic trick at the beginning, where he didn't tell people about how his little trick and his lie was going, his mathematical trick, where he made 2 equal 1. But listen to this now, right? This is Flat Earth Math talking about some sort of a trick that he feels he's been put under.
So let's revisit the original diagram and point out the original error. Can you see it? The original horizontal line connecting the 2 verticals was assumed to be a straight line.
Did you see that? The original error within his drawing was that there was a vertical perpendicular at both ends of a horizontal straight line, and he says that's a problem. We'll go back over this bit again, but listen.
Which is only true if the Earth were not a globe.
So that a horizontal being a straight line is only true if the Earth is not a globe.
This is not sequitur, because shape of the Earth does not establish shape of the horizontal line.
According to Flat Earth Math, it does. It's like he's built an entire fallacy. He's got so triggered about what we were saying about the perpendicular at each end of a vertical, each end of a horizontal, that he's had to make this video as a rebuttal to it, and he says that's the problem. It gets better though.
This leads us to the conclusion that the Earth cannot be a globe, which is a begging the question fallacy. The circular argument that concludes that the Earth is not a globe started with the premise that the line connecting the 2 verticals was straight, thus not on a globe.
So it's a begging the question fallacy.
No, it is not.
Well, it's according to Flat Earth Math, it is. It's a begging the question fallacy, because you say that horizontal is a straight line, therefore it can't be on a globe, therefore it's not on a globe, and your entire argument about a horizontal having a perpendicular, horizontal and vertical being perpendicular, is a begging the question fallacy, because you're assuming it's not a globe.
Yes, that is his statement, and his reasoning is non sequitur. but he is reversing this non sequitur into begging the question. That's his logical, let's say, trick, because it doesn't follow. Horizontal has nothing to do with the shape of the earth. So with this non sequitur statement, you cannot say that that would be begging the question. I don't, this is gaslighting or whatever, but it has nothing to do with logic. He's confusing two fallacies. He's making non sequitur statement, and then he's naming it that would be begging the question. To be the begging the question fallacy, you have to have at least sequitur statement, because from premise should follow some consequence or some conclusion. But if it is non sequitur in first place, then it cannot be begging the question. So this is simple. He's mixing. For me, this is a joke, or maybe for purpose. I don't know. Double nonsense.
I think what they do is, or what they're particularly doing now, we've started this conversation about logic, right? Advanced simplicity, making things as simple as possible. Now, the sophists, as in the entire arena that we're in, they don't want you to understand simple. They don't want you to see how simple it is, because then you will say, well, what the fuck have we been doing for 6 or 7, 8 years, 9, 10, however many years? What have you been doing in here if it's that simple? Can't be that simple. That's what they're doing here. And this particular effort that Flat Earth Math's doing, I mean, it's obvious that he's a mythologist. He can't understand logic. He can't. He's stuck underneath the bridge, or on the bridge, or wherever. But his bridge of fools within the logical understanding has been reached quite a bit ago. And what he's doing here is he's trying to formulate some sort of logical reasoning when he just doesn't have it. Doesn't have a base to start from.
Is this about reciprocal zenith angles?
This one in particular is talking about when I drew that board thing, and I had a 69-mile horizontal line, and at each end I drew an angle difference, but I did happen to draw just 2 verticals because they're perpendicular to the horizontal. That's what they're getting upset about.
I think one of the other problems, other than what's already been stated, is that this line between the 2 verticals, it has to be a straight line in order to correlate them together, because it has to be angles measured between the 2 verticals and the same straight line in order for it to have any meaning.
Well, yeah, but this is blue marble science that we're dealing with. They're oh, look, we've got the new shift in. Wally's here. Oh, we've been over your stuff, Wally. It's a shame. But we're going over the Flat Earth Math gaslighting bit that he came over to try and help you guys out. It's terrible. Like, literally, when you listen to this... let me get it back again.
Whoa.
There we go. Yeah, I'll let you listen to this in one go right now. If there's no breaks or stops or anything, this is what you would get. And I think it's just incomprehensible mishmash of words that he imagines something.
Andra in an article on using benchmarks in surveying. So let's revisit the original diagram and point out the original error. Can you see it? The original horizontal line connecting the two verticals was assumed to be a straight line, which is only true if the Earth were not a globe. This leads us to the conclusion that the Earth cannot be a globe, which is a begging the question fallacy.
It leads who to a conclusion that the Earth cannot be a globe? Just seeing a horizontal with the two verticals that are perpendicular at each end of it leads you to the conclusion that it cannot be a globe. That's
not non sequitur.
Yeah.
And so that's why it cannot be in reverse, begging the question, because at least you have to have sequitur in statement, because begging the question means that your premise is not proven in syllogism, and you are making from normally, if you have premise, this premise it has to be proven or to be an axiom, something that you should not prove because it is already proven. And if you are begging the question, it means that you are your first premise is not yet proven, but you are considering it as proven, and you are making conclusion from that not proven premise. This is begging the question. But to have that, you have to have conclusion which is following from premise. And in first place, when he has this non sequitur statement, it means that it cannot be begging the question, because this first statement is non sequitur. So for me, this is complete nonsense what he said.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but I mean, I think that's what's meant to happen. I mean, you're meant to be left in a state of confusion within this.
The circular argument that concludes that the Earth is not a globe started with the premise that the line connecting the two verticals was straight, thus not on a globe. So let's make some...
The horizontal line was not on a globe because it was drawn straight. I mean, who'd have thunk it that somebody would have drawn a horizontal line as being straight? But listen to what he does. Let's rectify it. This is what he needs to sort out how to help himself.
Some changes. We'll change the horizontal line to a level line. On a globe, two perpendicular lines to a level line diverge from each other.
Just statement. Two perpendiculars to a level line diverge. Even though the bit where he's got the right angle, it still says vertical and horizontal on his picture, while saying that they are perpendicular, exactly the same as they were before. Somehow now he's developed a diverging thing. Shocking.
Would you agree, Paper, if they, or anyone rather, that this is more in terms of begging the question, that if globe, then curve line. Curve line, therefore globe.
This is non sequitur in first place, but he is trying to say that we are begging the question by doing that. So in first place, he's putting in our mouth that we are making this statement, which is non sequitur, and then he is saying that this non sequitur in reality, in non sequitur statement, is begging the question. So this is double nonsense, or let's say high sophistry, because you can make begging the question fallacy, but at least you have to have sequitur statement. So from premise, it should follow, but
mind your P's and Q's, been said by Emma many times, probably about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yes, so if from P Q doesn't follow, you cannot say that you are making the question. It's just impossible to make that kind of fallacy. One fallacy excludes the second. So, but he is implying that we are making both, which is impossible in that case. Because non sequitur, why? Because horizontal line is not in reference to the Earth and cannot be compared to Earth, as he says, and also level. But in the second further, he is saying that he literally curves level and horizontal. But as we can see in this picture, because this level line in the middle is labeled level line, but it's also labeled as horizontal. So he is just curving both horizontal and level line. So that's the trick.
Yeah, he's like, this is his solution to the problem of a straight horizontal and perpendicular verticals.
But the original thing about the 1 degree change over 69 miles goes out the window because you don't have a straight line connecting the two lines anymore. So what he was trying to, verify back up with this trick, he no longer can back up or verify because it's not a straight line between the two lines to make angles.
Yeah, I think he's screwed Blue and his reciprocal zenith angles, actually. But I mean, don't bother telling Blue that yet.
Yeah.
I think that he cannot see flat Earth math, that by bending this line, horizontal line and level line, which is the same in his picture, he is diverging these verticals, doing that.
Yeah, he's making them not perpendicular.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the cause why they are not parallel to each other, these verticals. And this is circular reasoning.
Yeah,
because
he's bent, he's called a horizontal line level and bent it, and then said they are still perpendicular to it, where they're not. You can't get perpendicular to a curved line. It's just not possible. You've broken mathematics right there. That's where he's committed a massive fallacy. Now, whether he knows it or not, he's absolutely screwed Blue and the stolen concept. He's given the trick. He's shown everybody the trick that he's been playing. I mean, flat Earth math is trying to attempt a magician's trick by showing you the trick. It depends whether you're clever enough to see the trick.
Yes, and this is based on circular reasoning, because he said that why we have to bend this line, because the Earth is a globe.
Yeah, because he's assumed, right? He's assumed a straight line means that the Earth cannot be a globe and got threatened by that.
Yes, but when he said that, okay, then we have to bend this line to have agreement with globe Earth. But what he did is perfect circular reasoning, because he started with premise that the Earth is a globe, then we have to bend this line, and in conclusion, we have agreement between level and globe Earth. This is circular reasoning. You cannot do that in logic, because you are just you have the same outcome in conclusion. It means if the Earth was a globe, the horizontal level have to be curved. Okay, we curved level, therefore the globe, the Earth is a globe. This conclusion is already in premise. So this is circular reasoning. Nonsense.
Yeah, that's what I was asking earlier. So I would agree with you. Yeah, it's circular reasoning. It's not begging the question. But it's incredible to see that in order to verify, his position, he's throwing out the window the fundamentals that go into the problem at hand with the 1 degree change in angle over distance. It's hilarious.
It's all good fun, isn't it? I'll just finish the end of this and then we can come back again.
Horizontal and vertical lines are still perpendicular to each other, but now they're local.
He's curved a fucking baseline and now he's saying horizontal and vertical are still perpendicular, even though he's just curved the horizontal. That's a fallacy. It cannot be, but he's not going to tell you that. He's going to allow you to take on his paralogism. He's trying to hand it out.
And he is using empty statement or description that they are local now. They were local already when he didn't curve them yet.
They're always local. Like wherever you want, you can set up a horizontal and a vertical and they will always be perpendicular.
Yes, but he's naming them local. They were local already in first example. So they didn't change any location. The only thing that changed is that he bent straight line.
Yeah.
This is all he did. Nothing more.
To help himself get out of a conclusion that he's come to, that it can't be a globe because a horizontal line is straight.
Yes, this is
fantastic, isn't it?
But still, if he thinks that this is sequitur, okay. But then he fall into circular reasoning anyway. So this is very bad position. Flat Earth math is not good logician.
Yeah, I think it needs drawing out, right? Flat Earth math gets triggered about a video that he's seen. Goes and makes a video and then comes to a load of false conclusions about something he doesn't really understand. And then in his efforts to try and fix it, ends up bending a straight line, coming up with more fallacies about stuff. And he basically exposes the entire reciprocal zenith angle bullshit that Blue Marble's come up with, that Wally's given to him, obviously. Amazing. Well done, math.
If vertical lines diverge from each other, then the Earth cannot be shaped more like a pizza than a basketball. Now, as always,
if vertical lines diverge, then I don't know. I guess you'd have to show it somehow.
Yes, this is another funny statement because the question would be from what? They diverge from what? Of course, from vertical. So vertical is diverging from vertical.
Yeah.
So if we have one vertical, it means that this vertical is diverging from itself.
Yeah.
That's conclusion.
And you have to be able to measure an angle from a vertical, two lines. Both of them have to be vertical for you to measure a divergence of vertical. It's the only place you can measure an angle.
Yes, and when he bent this horizontal line, it means that they are no longer vertical. So there is no point to measure them as non-vertical or whatever, because they are already not vertical. So this is complete nonsense. This is funny guy, this flat earth math.
Yeah, so I am doing a video. I'm going to put this on a video because it needs to be gone over, because I think the statements that he made over this 6-minute video can be laid down in a timeline of, you know, exactly how flat earth math brought into it, how he decided that he couldn't have the horizontal be in a straight line because that assumed that it wasn't a globe for some reason. And then his way to fix it. The way to fix the fact that he'd come to a conclusion that it wasn't a globe. Whether that reinformed him and he's sort of now solidly back on the globe, or whether other people might be sort of... I don't know whether they're aware that horizontal being a straight line, according to flat earth math, is an assumption of flat earth. You are assuming it's not a globe. I'll just have to point that out again. Flat earth math now considers you as considering it not a globe if you assume horizontal is a straight line in reality, right? If you make a horizontal straight line in reality, then to flat earth math, you are assuming it's not a globe. Flat earth math, ladies and gentlemen. Flat earth math, the flat earth mathematician for the flat earth debate crew. For flat earth pilots everywhere. They all use flat earth mathematics.
Yeah, this bit is non sequitur. So just to remind, if people lost the track. This part, what you said, what you described, is non sequitur.
Yeah, I'm just imagining myself as flat earth math, the globe savior. Well, he's saving the globe from people that assume horizontals are straight.
Yes, and by the way, it reveals how they make a globe.
Yeah.
They are making globe by bending straight horizontal line.
Yeah, they get triggered that horizontal lines are assumed to be straight, so they come over and mentally bend them. And then everything's okay again.
And yes, if they bend, they think that it means that the Earth is a globe because they bend straight line. this for me, this is just getting mental. But okay.
Yeah, I mean, anything you can to justify a globe. I mean, anything goes. Even calling yourself flat Earth math and bending straight lines for the globe, that's allowed. It's acceptable. There'll be people coming in to help him. Right, let me get back to Discord. Because while we've been away, Wally's made a fucking great one. There we go. Wally he's another geometric genius. What do you think of this one? Wally says, where's Wally, the number 2 of the wolf pack? Everybody calls him number 2. Try thinking, you can get a diameter to be extended past the circumference.
No, you cannot. This part, which is outside, is no longer diameter. So, yeah, if you say that this diameter is straight line, Yes, you can extend straight line ad infinitum, but this part which is outside is not diameter. Sorry.
Well, we do have the definitions within Euclid of straight lines and diameter. I'm just trying to find it now. See whether I'm pretty sure I got it out the other day. But it does say that a diameter is a straight line that passes through the center and is terminated at the circumference at both ends. It doesn't say anything about it passing through, extending past the circumference. Because Wally says, you can tell what Wally's feeling a bit threatened about here, but Wally says, you can get a tangent to that at the surface. The diameter that passes through. It's not a diameter, that, Wally. We have this thing about pi, and we're quite strict about it here. That pi's a constant. Nobody should be able to fuck about with pi being a constant, surely. And extending the diameter past the circumference would be doing that very thing. So therefore, not allowed, Wally, you muppet. Absolutely fucking pathetic, Wally. I don't know who these people think we are. Not saying that we're geniuses or anything, but I mean, just knowing the definitions of these things, knowing the terms that we're starting off with, seems to seriously give you an upper hand towards these blue marble scientists. Wally is doing his best. I think Wally and Flat Earth Math and Blue Marble Science are doing the best to expose the ridiculousness of this fucking model that we're dealing with. And Nathan Oakley's doing his best to hide it, to shield them, these guys, from looking fucking ridiculous. Nathan Oakley's going, I can help you guys. I'll look even more ridiculous. I'll tell everybody that the Earth's flat. Yeah. That's a good one, Eric. Relax. It's just geometry. Calm down.
Yes, this is not laser test. Geometry is not laser test.
It's getting embarrassing though, right? You've got to admit. I mean, it's been embarrassing for quite a while now, but if you have to, it's one of the things I put on the Twitter. The concepts of vertical and horizontal are going to be challenged whenever you come up with this idea of blue marble science. Whenever you inject the blue marble scientific method into the understanding of vertical and horizontal and the perpendicularity, it's dangerous. Dangerous to the minds of these people. PT's done some videos on YouTube. I always like that. Inspired to do videos. I'm not really interested in the flat and globe thing. They're both. I mean, did you do one for reality, PT, or did you just sort of skip that completely? Just two imaginary models that you want to try and imagine. You're getting confused between flat and not flat.
E.T., is that a comedian guy?
I don't know. Is he a comedian?
I'm not sure. I don't know. The name rings like a bell, but I'm not sure. Because if it is that comedian guy, then it could just be some hilarious video about the false dichotomy. And we could all sit and laugh at it. But I don't know.
I don't know. Wally's going on about tangents, but he's still on about extending past the circumference. One
BTS.
scenario agreed with reality, Bev. Nice one. Is it the one that bent horizontals like Flat Earth Math did, PT? Did you bend a horizontal in order to make them perpendicular to vertical?
I'm very sorry if I've watched this PT's video and has just assumed by the content that it's comedy sketches and I've been laughing at it. I'm so sorry I didn't.
Didn't realize it was blue marble science. I hope so. I mean, I hope not. PT, is PT in the Discord or is he not? I don't know whether we've seen your video, PT. Do you do any talking? I mean, promote yourself. Let's have a look. Get in the Discord. We are talking about geometry, but I mean, it is model affliction. So anything, if you've got anything, we'll have a look at that. Yeah, that N2M guy. Whew. I'll have a chat with him, but I think I had a chat with him over at Blue Marble. See this? This is Nathan Oakley on the thing about you can do fuck all with an angle. Nathan Oakley was talking about doing head cracking with an angle. Dumb fuck. Neil says, Nathan, he is just dumb. And then Nathan says, unsubscribe from Bev today. Because he's like that. He's a good fellow YouTube content creator. And then I say, a set square is a triangle, Nathan. And Nathan says, and I could kill you with it. So that's one of the things that Nathan Oakley could do with an angle. Cause injury to people. Set squares he's talking about. Not an actual angle. Like a measured angle that doesn't actually... It's just a measured angle, but Nathan always likes to do that. Talk about being like that. I guess when you get triggered about these sort of things, people start bending straight lines. Maybe that's what Brian was talking about earlier, where Flat Earth Math started bending horizontals for him. Bendizontal, I think he called that, but he called it level as he did it. Magic trick. I shall call you level. Bend a horizontal. It's a fantastic trick these Blue Marble scientists do. I have always said that I don't think Blue Marble scientists should be messing about with geometry. It's a very dangerous area for the mind. Because you're dealing with concepts that you rely on in reality. This logical framework for your understanding goes through geometry. And to give it up for the sake of a scientific model akin to a faith is a pretty bad idea. for your internal logical system understanding.
Yes, this is very difficult mentally, I would say, because if you have straight line, you can produce verticals on that horizontal line being parallel to each other indefinitely. But if you are bending this horizontal line, they say that this is local, but even Blue Marble Science was negotiating how far he can go to have parallel verticals. And I would, as I remember, it was 1 inch or whatever, but still, if you are bending horizontal, you have, you cannot have any parallel verticals. Geometrically, it is impossible. So any point you are going from that vertical will diverge. So this is the problem. This is the problem because you cannot measure any angles from that line, curved line. So any point beside this vertical would diverge. So it is impossible.
Yeah, and why? They're always asking other people to do stuff for them. Surely if they already know this, show us. Should be dead easy. We're going off very simple, basic geometric understanding of most people. These guys are going against it. Blue Marble Scientists. There's getting a few less of them. I think they're dropping away. The big ones like Blue Marble Science. I think he's losing heart. And I'm sorry, Blue, if you feel it's our fault that you're doing this. We're not flat earthers, so I said that at the beginning. I said that to Beddy when he came here. Please don't misrepresent a logical argument as a flat earth argument, because you'll get yourself into trouble. These are not flat earth arguments. These are geometric statements, provable. You guys are going against them. You're bending horizontal lines. That should show you how serious your problem is. If you're having to misrepresent a very simple argument about vertical and horizontal being perpendicular and end up with your conclusion as bending a horizontal line to conceptualize some sort of a, I don't know, a break in the law of geometry, right? A break in the law of perpendicularity. Then you're not doing well. And the downward spiral that will occur, will definitely occur. You've allowed a contradiction to come in, and you're doing things that you can't do. You can't just bend straight lines to imagine perpendiculars not being perpendicular. It's too much.
Okay, I am dropping to bed. Good
Okie
night.
dokie.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paper. It's getting late now anyway. Model Affliction Monday. Has anybody got anything else? Fizzling out. The Blue Marble Scientists are obviously struggling. We've had many different things. and many different understandings of all of these geometric things. We are at a very strange place at the minute because, as I said, this year we are starting off with the advanced simplicity. Now, this thing that you're seeing is a consequence of a few years' work for us to lead up to this point. Now, they're obviously going to try and confuse people around the simplicity that we're going to be showing this year. You're getting to see a little glimpse of the confusion that these guys are feeling, but these guys aren't going to give it up. They're going to carry on passing on this confusion. They want everybody as confused as they are. Hopefully we're trying to simplify it. If you still feel it's a bit confusing and you're not quite understanding it, please come on into the Discord. There's a link. Just come on in. Conversation. We'll try and clarify it. If you don't like my voice, somebody else will help you out. That's all we're after here, is the ability to try and simplify things to help people understand how simple this is at the core of it. Tomorrow, there was something, I can't remember what it was. Geometry. It's logic night, is it? Logic. I don't know. There was something that I'm thinking we could do. It's something that'll show itself tomorrow. Logic night. Join us tomorrow. Let me get some Buster song sorted. Anybody got any final words? Oh, I don't need to sort anything out, do I? It's Monday. Just remember, Nathan Oakley, if you're out there, if you're listening, you're 2 years behind on just about everything. Perhaps even more further behind. And I don't know whether it's possible to catch up. We've got a team of skilled people here that have the ability to have open conversations and challenge each other. I think you need all of that in order to be able to start this communication process, for you to be able to find answers to wherever you're looking. So, thank you very much. Join us tomorrow. We will be here 8 o'clock again. Logic night. Don't let the blue marble scientists confuse you. Just say no to confusion for the blue. If you see a blue marble scientist, just say no. We don't need any of that.
All right, here we go. Okay. Is it a hump or a drop? What do you say? You got to twist your words in every which way, because the motto will always dictate what you do. Everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues. Is it a straight line or does it curve? Some people unclamp it, but that is absurd. We we all know that the model will always dictate what you do. Everybody knows that you are model afflicted blue. Model affliction. It's your addiction. That model affliction. It brings you so much pain. It's your ball and chain. Conflating curvature with elevation change has got your local distance just out of range. That old biggie is gonna dictate everything that you do. And everybody knows that you got the model affliction blue. It's your decision defending the model position. You just don't know the geometric proposition. That old ball, it'll always be illogical to you. That's why perpendicularity is a puzzle to you. Model affliction. It's your addiction. Model affliction. It brings you so much pain. It's your ball and chain.
World famous Buster.